Spider-Man does whatever Tom Holland can. A lot of the acting in Spider-Man wasn't really acting. It was just raw emotions and some serious bromances. Number 1. With great power comes even greater endings. Aunt May's final words were just downright gut-wrenching. It didn't take a lot to get Tom into the scene, because who wouldn't be bawling about that? With great power. Ugh. But on top of all of that, Tom knew this might be the last time he ever puts on the Spider-Man suit, and the thought of it crushed him. Filming this scene just evoked that sense of the end in him. He said, "So thankfully I was really able to draw on my own experience and my own feelings in those moments. But this film also felt like a huge celebration." And he also found that the relationship between Peter and May was integral to the heart and soul of the story. So the end of May felt like the end of Peter's journey. Number 2. What better way to test a superhero than to throw bread? Zendaya throwing buns at Andrew Garfield was most definitely not scripted. What better way to test if someone is real than with bread? You wouldn't even need to throw it at us, we would gladly take a slice. There was something in the script that gave her the inspiration though. She was supposed to grab a candlestick and use it as a weapon. Number 3. We all know that Andrew is the sappy one. I love you guys. This was another gem that was never scripted, and if you've seen a single interview from Andrew Garfield, you'll know he's serious about his love for the spiders. Number 4. Acting opposite your IRL partner makes the mushy scenes a little more palatable. Tom Holland and Zendaya's on-screen chemistry was hard to deny. Of course, they weren't doing much denying either, other than to fans and interviewers for as long as possible. But even more than their comfort with each other in the movies was their comfort with each other in interviews. Dang is Zendaya touchy! And both of them are over-the-top complimentary of each other. Number 5. Yeah, what about them? Tom Holland was genuinely confused about a line from Alfred Molina. So Tom is saying to the villains, "I think I can fix you," and Molina improvised, "Fix? Like a dog?"
And I kept responding with no, why would you fix a dog?
Well, all this can be cleared up pretty simply. The Brits don't fix dogs, they spay them.
And he was confused about the snipping. He was like, why does he keep doing this?
Fixing a dog? I don't get it.
Of course, Molina is also British, but he spent a lot more time in the States than Tom. Number 6. Still the best moment of the entire trilogy. Saving MJ was a very personal moment for Andrew Garfield, because, of course, his character wasn't able to do that with Gwen Stacy. But it's about more than character. When his movie was cancelled, he was never able to right that wrong, and it kind of left a hole in him. It's no secret Spider-Man was an obsession of his since before he ever put on the suit, and to not complete that arc was painful. Before even taking on the role, he was afraid he would be used more like a prop or a gimmick. But when he saw he got to save MJ, it sold him on the project. Number 7. This tragic moment was helped along by genuine love. That scene on the rooftop where all of the Spider-Men met was guided beautifully by Tom, who knew he had to feel the emotional weight of the other two Spider-Men, but they also needed to experience how deeply affected he was. So he went up to them and said, "Thank you, thank you, thank you for doing this. Thank you for being here. Thank you for elevating Spider-Man in the ways that you have. Thank you for being so gracious and allowing me to share this with you. Thank you for taking a leap of faith and coming back." So they all embraced each other and just started crying because these stories just meant the world to them all. And this embrace inspired the creative team to frame the characters' final goodbyes the same way. It's hard to believe they only filmed together for a couple of weeks, huh? Number 8. The ending? Zendaya actually hated the finale of No Way Home. Did you know that? Yeah, despised it. She wanted a happily ever after. She wanted the characters to just go to college. So that ending, her bitterness was seeping into it just a little. It was kind of okay though, right? Because there's something not exactly right between Peter and MJ, and we can sense that. And she can sense that. And maybe we're reading into this too much. But, like a true professional, Zendaya sucked back all the feels and just did the scene. Seriously though, what was that ending? Number 9. The questions we all wanted answers to were improvised. That long conversation the Spider-Men were having while waiting for the world to crumble was all just the actors messing around. Only so much of their ridiculousness could be added to the movie. But we're sure there are more amazing gems just waiting to be leaked one day. The question about where Tobey Maguire shoots his web from? Classic improvising nonsense. Number 10. How could they do Marissa dirty like that? We will gladly accept Zombie May. We don't think Marissa Tomei was ready to leave the MCU. We still would have rather seen her become a superhero and kick butt. She just couldn't keep all the details of the movie to herself. The whole thing was such an emotional roller coaster, she ended up telling her therapist about the ending under oath. Number 11. Tom Holland had the weight of the world on his shoulders in this scene. The scene in the Rubble and Homecoming was a huge one for Kevin Feige. He felt that was the moment that was missing in all of the previous Spider-Man movies. The moment where the character really comes into his own and becomes the hero he was meant to be. Well, this was one of the most intense scenes for Holland to film as well. And you can't really say that he was acting because he was genuinely trapped beneath heavy debris. Otherwise, the metaphorical weight of the scene would be lost. It had to be real. The character had to be at the ultimate low in order to rise from the rubble. It was incredibly taxing on Tom to be trapped beneath it, but he managed. He survived, and cinema thanks him for it. Number 12. We're still not ready to let go of Spidey, even if he did come back. As Peter Parker slowly turned to dust in Tony Stark's arms, you may recall him saying in a fit of tears,
"I don't want to go, I don't want to go, I don't want to go."
He said it over and over and over again, and well, it was improvised. Humble Tom doesn't think much of the improv, as it was the truth and it was just one line. It wasn't spectacular in his mind. But here's the thing. Perfection doesn't demand more than what is necessary. Turns out, 4 words on repeat is a beautiful way to show someone's fear of the unknown. Number 13. Tom's broing around a lot. We can't help but notice. Before there was the 3-way Spider-Man bromance, Tom Holland and Jake Gyllenhaal's immediate and intense bromance actually sparked some script changes. Originally, Mysterio wasn't going to be half as chummy with Tom, but the softness that the two really brought made that big reveal hurt so much more. Number 14. Like father figure, like son figure, RDJ and Tom Holland awkwardly hugging in the car has become pretty iconic. And for good reason. That moment was never meant to be a hug. Truly, the awkwardness that came with that hug was all on Tom thinking it would be funny for Peter to hug Tony in that moment. And Tony's reaction is everything we could expect and more from RDJ. Pure and total discomfort. Yep. Number 15. There's nothing worse than being on the spot when the camera's rolling. Poor Jacob Batalon was kept out of the loop on what he was about to walk in on. So when he saw that MJ was in the same room as Peter, who was casually sliding into the Night Monkey suit in Far From Home, he was forced to improvise. It's kind of a cruel thing to do to the guy, but it did get great results. It's hard to believe it's coming up on a year since we saw our favorite Spideys swing into action together, and still no real evidence of a 4th film. Are you still holding out hope for a happily ever after for Peter and MJ? Let us know in the comments, and thanks for hanging out with us here at The Things.